Hi everyone, it's Lynn and Dee, and we are back with a me and Dee feature today. We kind of like to do these spreads, don't we, Dee?
Yes.
Yeah. So listen, there was a spread that I found that I've been wanting to play with for a long time, and it's the Zodiac Wheel. And I asked Dee if she wanted to do it with me, but we thought it'd be more fun to have somebody to do it on. So I invited Rebecca. Rebecca is, part of my tribe, and we kind of have fun and we play around, do a lot of stuff together, just like Dee and I do. So we thought we'd invite her today and let her be our guinea pig for one of
I
our
was going to use
readings.
that word. I was going to use that word.
Yeah. Anyway, hi. Listen, here's the deal. Uh, the Zodiac Wheel is a 12 card spread, and it revolves around the 12 houses of the zodiac. And of course, the zodiac is astrology. And my problem that I've never sat down and I've always been intrigued by this spread. And let me show you this. Let me show everybody the spread real fast, just so that people know what the hell we're talking about. Oh, hang on. I don't know how to work my own computer. Okay, here we go. So this is what the spread looks like. And I'm sorry, that's the biggest I can get it. I can't seem to figure out full screen. We always start with here, and then we have the 12, and it comes back around to Pisces. Okay, so I have, okay, that's what we're looking at. Okay, that's what I'm talking about right now. So I want to come back to me. So in the meantime, I understand, I know a lot about tarot. I understand and I know a lot about crystals because I read crystals, which by the way, I can read on live Zoom if you can find that in my Etsy shop. But I also understand and totally believe in numerology. Thank you, Mary Kay Greer, about and how well it works with tarot. But I know astrology is built, tarot is built to work with astrology as well. I've just never followed that modality. When it got into deacons and all kinds of, I mean, you go when I started going trying to go down that rabbit hole, I got confused and gave it up. So I've just never done it. So my question for you guys is, do you have experience with astrology? And does it seem unrealistic to try to read a tarot spread that is based on astrology if you don't know astrology? There you go. What do you think?
Um, like, do you want to go? I'm going to say, and I'm just guess. Mine. I think I am probably in the middle. I'm going to guess D knows more about astrology than me. I know just enough to be dangerous, kind of thing. I knew about the horizon, and I knew about the houses, and I know my moon sign, my sun sign, and my rising sign from a computer printout. So, but I think I'm going to say yes, you can, because if you know the meanings of the houses, then that's sort of applying the astrology for you, right? Like, I think there's so much information from 12 tarot cards and 12 houses that I think that's enough for. I'm sure if you know a little extra, maybe you can add some depth, but that's my 2 cents. What do you say, Dee?
I no, I agree. I know enough to get me through a reading, and if and again, I look at the extra details that are as to what's going on. Mercury retrograde, what month are we in, other planetary things to see if that kicks it up a notch. But as far and I do it off the top of my head. I really have to go in and take a look and
Yeah.
see just what's picking at me because we do have those cards that mimic each other, and you can take it to where you do just major arcana,
Oh,
or
wow.
you do the whole tarot deck, and that's I like to play around with those.
Well, I will say this. When I went, I've just always been intrigued by this particular spread. And so I went online trying to find it because I thought I had a copy of it and I didn't. I ended up finding on Pinterest a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And of course, they're all designed the same, but they all have different stuff. But what I did discover is the 12 houses do tend to stay within theme across the board, but everybody's throwing in a little bit of the kitchen sink, right? So here's what I did. You all know how crazy I am about AI, right? I call Gemini my boyfriend. But
Mhm.
and by the way, I never, ever, ever do I use it for divination, ever. And I don't recommend anybody ever doing it because it's not divination. You know, you do a reading, my boyfriend do a reading for you. It's not really a reading, right? So
Right.
I don't, but I use it. I have found so many creative ways of using it. And what I did is I did like a, I don't know, I did a table where I put in every single description that all these different Pinterest layouts gave me. And I put them into AI and I said, here, you figure it out. How
And
do
I'm so glad you did, because I think what stopped me from using the spread was I'd see it and everybody's got different meanings for each house. So you
right,
consolidating, picking or asking the great network what the most common keywords are, that
right.
really helped. That was really cool.
So
So thanks.
this is I got to tell you in part what Gemini told me. Okay. Keep in mind that some concepts are inherently interconnected. So what might seem like duplication could also be just a natural expansion of the theme. And then, and this is, I'm not going to go through all of these. Well, I'm not going to read all these, but I am going to tell you, I just want to give an example, of what I'm talking about. Aries, the first house, right? It's about self, personal identity, personality, ego. And it said these are all closely, and of course these are the ones I plugged in. And it said these are all closely related and essentially describe the same core concept of the individual's essence. So you could likely consolidate these, perhaps focusing on self-identity and personality as the primary descriptors. I mean, that's what AI told us to do here. Cut these, use these. And then I also saw appearance and external. And AI said these also overlap significantly. Appearance covers the outward presentation, which is part of external. And so basically it's saying just use external. So now we can drop like, several words, several descriptions out and still get the gist of it. But I want to go on just for one. It says Taurus, second house, resources, money, finances, wealth, possessions. These are all directly related to material assets. So, resources is a good umbrella term. Money, finances, wealth are specific types of resources, and possessions are what we acquire with them. So, you could just keep resources as the main term and perhaps add material security or valuables to encompass the others. And so, I thought that was, I just, and this went on. This is how AI gave it back to me. And that's what you were saying that you saw that you liked was how it kind of condensed and helped us. So,
Well, that's a fair use of AI, because you're just asking it to get the essence of all the meanings that are out there. So
yeah. And in the back, at the end, it said, here's a summary of the key conflicts and duplications to address. And we're going to address them in the next few minutes here. So what I'd like
okay.
to do is start with, let's start with the first house. Okay. And I am Aries. I am an Aries. So,
You're
I,
natural.
yeah, I can see this as, I can see this as just, I don't know. It talked about spirituality, I thought in here at one point, did it? Oh no, Pisces. Pisces is about spirituality.
Right.
But
Right.
Aries, to me, Aries, your true spirit, your sense of self to me is Aries. So to it's kind, you know what I'm saying? It's like my spirituality lies in my sense of self. And that maybe that's just for me. But I think that that's, and appearance, I think that's kind of unusual, but I like external better because external, it's not just appearances for me. External, it's looking at my world around me and how my sense of self fits into that world. Do you guys see anything different or did you find anything different on Aries?
No.
No? Okay.
Just to be clear for people, I think, yeah, most confusing thing I thought was that it's the first house. It's, I guess, Dee would know the better word than me. It's like ruled by Aries, but your sign may or may not be in that house. Like, doesn't mean Aries is in that house.
Right. Right.
Just
No.
So
It's
for
ruled
example,
by
let's say and we're going to do this, but let's say we're doing a reading and the we're doing a reading and we're doing a Pisces, for example. What is your sun? What is your sun sign, Rebecca?
I even have my chart. So I'm going to grab it.
Just
I am
sun
a
sign.
I am a Virgo.
Okay, and D, what are you?
I'm a double Virgo.
Oh gosh.
All right. But let's say let's say we get a Pisces, right? And a Pisces is very secretive, spiritual, it's a lot of the underflow of stuff. But when I pulled these cards just to show people the layout, I wanted to keep the layout because I thought it was really interesting. Oh, here we go. But I got the Four of Wands, right? So this is kind of having a party. This is kind of opposite of the Pisces going, it's something's going on in their life right now that is opening them up, and instead of kind of bringing them out of their secret world. But what is that? What's causing that? And then you can look at the Aries, they're for a Pisces first house. I have the Eight of Pentacles, which would be, I'm going to say work or repetition of some kind. So it's interesting that, I mean, just to make your concept or just to explain what you were saying was that what's going on in that Pisces person's life right now, or what's going to be happening over the rest of this year. And it's going to be maybe opening themselves up to working with other people more than they have. So that's that so I think that the houses, wouldn't you say, is just an influence? What do you think about that, Dee?
Yeah, I would say that. Other things that I look at too, when you're doing that, um, maybe their ruling planet sometimes helps out with where you're going with it. And then I also have a list of the major arcanas that influence that house.
Oh.
So I do look at that as well. So you're talking about Pisces.
Yeah.
I've got the moon and the hanged man. So those times, if I know that, I will throw that card there. You know me and clarifiers. Come on, Lynn.
No
Even
kidding.
I
We
know.
all do,
Even I
don't we?
know.
Yeah, even Rebecca knows, and she's never met you before, and she knows you're the clarifying queen.
Anything that can add to and help me express it.
Okay.
So
Well,
I will
I
throw
got
that in there.
a question for you slightly, Dee. I don't want to take it off topic, but for whatever reason, my rising sign everyone says seems more me than my Virgo sun sign. So my rising sign is in the first house. My rising sign is Scorpio. What do you make of that?
I think you are doggone lucky.
Okay.
Only because that is to me, every time I have a granddaughter who is Scorpio, and when you take on something, you're passionate. You go for it. You if it takes you further out beyond your fences, your wheelhouse, bring it on. And to me,
Okay.
there's no holding back, and that is the best thing you can have.
Is your rising sign always in the first house? That's how it works
You know what?
with the horizon and all.
I don't
Well,
understand what I don't
Lynn can
understand because
delete
the
this
first
part. I
house
am
is
the
Aries.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
yeah.
So are you
Let's stick
saying
with
that
that.
are you saying you have a Virgo, you have a Scorpio in Aries, in the house of Aries? I mean, I don't know what that means.
Yes. I don't either.
Yeah, all right.
Other than
Well,
I know I have.
let's stick with the spread then.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So anyway, Aries, we've got, what's, who you are, where you are, your sense of self, right? This is the person. In Taurus, in the second house is Taurus. And again, I'd already said that this is like, resources and material security, right?
Right.
And but it also said environment and surroundings. I found those two also in all these spreads. And AI said, you know what, they're highly similar. You could just choose one or combine them to be physical environment. And I kind of liked that, right? Because we kind of need, I think that I can see with a lot of
Yeah.
questions that could be a really helpful one, is physical environment. So for second house, we're looking at resources, material security, and physical environment. And I think that's enough. I think, we don't want so many things in here. We can't figure them out. You guys, Gemini is the third house. Do you agree with communication as the main theme for that?
Um,
I
yeah.
got, go ahead. I got communication, your mind, knowledge, education was one set that I got. And it's like condensed that down to education is key. Your mind is where thoughts originate for communication. So knowledge and education are very closely linked, especially with early education. Consider grouping learning, knowledge, and education together to just be education. But later on, we have a higher learning. So I think I liked communication and early learning on this one. Short trips versus local travel because they're duplicate. And then environment comes up again in the third house. And it says here, this term also appeared in, Taurus's description. And while the type of environment might differ, Taurus is physical and Gemini is more immediate, intellectual, and social. Using the exact same word can be confusing. So maybe immediate surroundings would be better for the third house. Does that sound kind of cool?
Yeah.
Anybody have any comments they want to put in on that one?
No, that covered it
Okay.
pretty
No,
well.
I'm good.
All right. So Cancer, fourth house. I love home life. I've seen family, roots, ancestry, home life, domestic life, home. And I think home life is good. But they also say that ancestry, family, and roots are so closely related. But family and roots, which, apply to ancestry, are really strong and should probably be kept. So I thought home life, because we're going to have work life, we're going to have love life, we're going to have all those other coming up. So I kind of liked home life because home could be, oh, shoot. Oh my God. You guys, I just lit my, hang on. I just lit my,
What did you just light your candle?
oh my gosh, hang on. I got to go put this out. Hang on.
Well, hi, Dee. How are you?
I'm good. Something that I was going to mention to Lynn, but before she got going, but I didn't. Anyway, I have a deck of just zodiac cards.
So I got one in the mail yesterday. So
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
There.
it just had one keyword each, but still.
Yeah, but what's nice is I have been laying out my zodiac according to these cards, and I put out the zodiac, and
that's what I
then
did.
I pull my extra cards on it, my tarot cards on it, and I gotta tell you that really works well for me.
It worked for me too because I didn't know the houses super well, so it was like a little placemat kind of thing to put them on.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca was talking about that earlier this morning, that you were laying cards on cards, and
Yeah, they just came in yesterday. I'd stared at them for 6 months and they went on sale. I'm like, I knew this was coming up. I'm like, I'm going to try this.
You guys, now I need to get more cards. I don't have enough.
We all need excuses for more cards.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, I won't be able to repeat everything that I wanted to because look.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fourth house, home. Home life, domestic life, home, very home life would cover it, it says. But family and roots. See, there's going to be a time when I think family is important. There's a time when roots, or being rooted, I think is really important. That's with my crystals. And so I kind of like to keep both. And it says it's okay that they're both of them are strong enough to keep. In the fifth house, that's Leo. And Leo I was surprised. Leo is about creativity, self-expression, and it says that these are very deeply entwined, but self-expression is often the action of creativity. And so you could just keep self-expression, but I think I would keep both because I see them differently. I can see how in a scenario they could be different.
Well, my understanding of Leo is they would be an active, fiery type.
Yep.
I know I was surprised that there seemed to be an awful lot in the house of Leo, like a lot
Yeah,
of things.
romance, dating, and love life. It's like, it says romance is a good general term because dating is a phase of romance and love for life is a bit informal and could be just romance. So I figured romance, but then I found pleasure, fun, and happiness. And these are all really similar too. So that could be condensed down into pleasure or joy. But I like pleasure, I think that's a good one. Um, the sixth house is Virgo, and it's work life. It said work life, career, employment. Now, it says this kind of reminds me of of the wands versus the pentacles, because we're doing this as a tarot spread anyway, right? But to
Mhm.
me, it's like when I pull up pentacles, I think of home work, that daily drudgery stuff, home work, family, health. But wands, I always see as career because of the passion. So I see the Virgo as the work life. Employment is a state of having a job where career implies a professional path. But it also said, however, for a concise list, work or daily work could cover work life and employment. And then career also appears in the 10th house, which is its primary domain. So
Mhm.
this is a significant point of conflict. So for career, it says the primary descriptor of the 10th house, Capricorn. The sixth house is more of the daily work routine and active working, while the 10th house is more of a public career ambition, long-term professional status. So it says just remove career out of Virgo or out of the sixth house. Do you guys agree with that? What do you think about that?
I do,
Mhm.
because I consider Virgo more in the health and physical well-being, which brings in your work life. I don't need
And
career employment in that.
And believe
Um,
it or not, the next set of things I got was health and physical well-being. And AI says a direct overlap, health is sufficient. So we can keep
and
whatever.
that's where I put it
All
as
right.
health.
So seventh house is Libra. And we're talking, it says marriage, relationships, partnerships, one-on-one connections, significant others, business partners. It all describes the core theme of relating to others one-on-one, and relationships or partnerships are excellent umbrella terms.
Well,
So,
here I wondered, sorry to interrupt.
yep.
Do you not see a difference here? Like, with Leo is the romance, the dating,
Yes.
whereas the seventh house, it's like, okay, where stuff gets real, the marriage, the long-term commitments, the not necessarily romantic, but
The lovers versus the two of cups.
yeah, exactly. See,
Yeah.
it comes back to tarot, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, so Libra, we've got the relationships, right? I mean, we can condense all that down to relationships. And oftentimes too, when I describe the two of cups as a very strong bond between two people. To me, the lover's card can be about two of anything. It's a duality card and it's a commitment card, but the two of cups to me is always between two people. But it could be lovers. It could be siblings. It could be neighbors. It could be business partners. It's two people that have a very strong tie of some kind. And so, yeah, I see where, I'm saying it's that more of that commitment, more of that long-term thing. Love life. This overlaps heavily with marriage, relationships and partnerships, but I think it's more specific, and I like love life. Cooperation came up, and I thought that was interesting because this is an aspect of successful relationships.
Yes.
Cooperation. So it says it's not a separate core theme, but a quality. So to me, it's like that's out. Legal issues. I don't find it strange that legal issues came up
Yeah.
in some of these spreads that I found on Pinterest.
Yeah.
While legal issues can arise in partnerships like divorce, or contracts or, buying a house, it's a specific manifestation rather than a core theme. So to me, that one's out.
Well, Libra's the scales, right? Maybe there's your justice
Oh, that could be.
angle. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
All right, Scorpio. There you go. Here you go. Scorpio is in the eighth house. and it's transformation, cycle of change, which to me, is the death card through and
That's,
through, right?
I
There it
believe,
is.
yeah,
I
Scorpio
was
is a death.
surprised to see shared resources, joint finances, and inheritance. And it
Me
said
too.
these are all related to resources held with others. So shared resources would be a good, condensing of all that.
Yeah.
Sex and intimacy. Basically, intimacy is just a broader, scope that encompasses sex. So it could be just
Often.
dropped down to intimacy. And then lessons and major changes. That to me, that's all transformation. So that can all just be swept into transformation. Or if people don't like the word transformation, they could just say, major changes too. And that would work. For Scorpio. All right. One last one. I wanted to bring up here life, philosophy, seriousness, and passion for you. And it says that I felt those were kind of a bit of an outlier, compared to the more concrete themes shared, like sex, death, and transformation. But it says life philosophy is more strongly aligned with the ninth house. So here we go to the ninth house, right? Which is Sagittarius. Anything about Scorpio you want to
I
chime
would
in or
consider rebirth, that death and rebirth
for
for that
Scorpio?
Scorpio. Yeah.
Is
Well,
that
I'm pretty
enough?
sure Scorpio is the death card is associated with Scorpio. I know that much. So
Yeah.
there's
And
that.
because
The
that
re-
cycles of change and uh that transformation, to me, that's another rebirth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And I think that's easier. The whole point
Well,
of
it is.
going over this and the whole reason that I went to AI to condense this down a bit is because, in tarot, sometimes all of it, we get so many different meanings going that I don't know, it just kind of waters it down for me. I mean, I mean, listen, listen to me, throwing stones at glass houses, right? I've got a 42-page journal, of my tarot cards. It's like ridiculous, but I only use one or two of those meanings most of the time.
Yeah.
Sagittarius ninth house. Okay, here's where that higher learning. Remember, I said Gemini in the third house. It was like
Mhm.
it's education
Early.
too, and that's early learning, and then this is higher education, and that is, and AI agrees that that's more specific to the ninth house, and also longer travel. Remember the one where it was short travel?
Mhm.
One of them was shorter travel. You have to go
Yep.
back and look at the video, and then this one is longer travel or journeys that you go on. A quest came up, but it said longer travel was more clear, I like this philosophy, beliefs, and your worldview, your spiritual life,
There's your
are
spiritual life.
all
Yeah.
deeply connected, but philosophy and beliefs is heavily influences your worldview, and spiritual life is often part of one's worldview and philosophy. So they build on each other. But I thought philosophy and beliefs was better here because I kind of look at spirituality, for the Pisces.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I thought philosophy and
Yeah.
beliefs were good. Life path and expansion for Sagittarius. And life path is quite broad and could apply to many houses where expansion is a Sagittarian quality, and less specific to, specific life areas. So I like that. I like expansion. I like that it's in there. I like that it's an option in the spread. You
I
know,
just had a funny thought. We were reading this house. Would you say learning tarot would apply to the ninth house?
see, I
Higher
definitely,
learning
yeah, it's the higher learning. It's that, and I was
and
thinking
expansion.
too, spirituality, learning, putting more time and effort into your spirituality, and growing your spirituality. That's learning. That's a higher learning. That's a
Exactly.
higher calling as well. Capricorn, 10th house. Here again, here we have this career, professional path, public image, public persona, reputation, social status, prestige. It's all falls under career and public image, right? Those are the key. And then I also found calling, duty, and projects. And AI says calling and duty fit well with Capricorn's nature. Projects is too general. That can apply anywhere.
It's true. Yeah.
So I like career, public image, and your calling or your duty. You're called to do something, right?
Yeah.
Aquarius, 11th house. Oh my gosh. Okay, so friendship, social circles, groups, community. They say that friendships and groups are excellent umbrellas. Social circles and community are types of groups. But honestly, I like social circles and community better than I like any of the other ones.
Well, for what it's worth, the little deck I bought that had one card for each house
Yep.
had community, I remember, as the 11th house. So obviously some people agree with you about the
Yeah.
community.
The other things that I found in all these different spreads was for the 11th house was hopes and wishes, future aspirations, and future vision. And AI says that they're so close, but wish hopes and wishes is traditional, but the other two, right, are more dynamic and have similar things in common. I love future aspirations, but as I as I condense all this and then put it in my repertoire, right, put it in my book of spreads for myself, I'm going to use hopes and wishes for that one because I think it makes more sense to people, you know.
I think it's cool and want to know why it's traditional. But I
Yeah.
didn't, I thought that was just neat.
Um, Pisces, the last one, spirituality, secrets, subconscious, dreams. That's one. And they said those are all distinctive and could all be kept separate. Self-sabotage or self-sacrifice. These are specific behaviors linked to the 12th house's theme of self-undoing or dissolving boundaries, and they're all good to keep. So, and then I found isolation, enemies, and major difficulties. And it said these can be manifestations of the 12th house challenges, but enemies are often refers to hidden or subconscious enemies, while overt adversaries are in the 7th house. Does that sound weird?
Yeah.
I can't believe I burned my paper up. Okay, the last one for the 12th house was karma. It fits well in the 12th house's themes of past actions and unforeseen influences. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I don't have to go over the summary of keys or the summary of conflicts because frankly, we addressed them as we went. I do want to say, I'm going to switch back to my camera and I laid this spread out just to show you how it laid out. But then I started seeing some really interesting cards in it, so I'm just going to leave it, and then we'll do another one, after that. But I want you to know. I'm going to switch cameras. I want you to know that I am just using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and I put this box in it to keep the cards good. Honestly, this is not that.
No.
This is classic tarot by Barbara Moore. I don't know
I was
why
gonna
I
say
have
it
it in
didn't
that
look like the
box.
Rider-Waite. I was a
Yeah.
little confused.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, that's what I'm using. Okay.
Okay.
So listen, um, here we have let's say this is an somebody else. Dee, you and I talked about what time frame are we going to use because Rebecca asked about that earlier, and you said you were doing one on somebody last night that wanted just for the weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, guy had a couple and he only wanted the weekends, and I'm just gonna go with it.
Okay.
And we read it that way. Why
Okay.
not? Because the whole reason I was doing it was to
Just to
learn
play
the
with it. Yeah.
houses and stuff, and it worked.
So
But I
Dee and
think if I was ever doing this with a client, it'd be a longer spread, I think. But what do you
Dee and
guys
I
think?
talked about just doing it for the rest of this year, right? So this would be like
Yeah.
the next 5 months. Is that what you were thinking, Dee? Have you changed your mind?
No, I mean, that to me, that sounds like a good.
Yeah, because it's such an in-depth spread.
So
Yeah.
we've been over the meanings. Now let's talk about the cards. Let's do a couple of spreads, right? Let's do this one first. Okay, in the house of Aries. we have the Eight of Pentacles. And I tend to repeat myself a lot in different ways. It kind of fits for an Aries. But if this is somebody's self, if we're reading for somebody, right, they just want to know what's going to, what are they expecting for the rest of this year? I would say that they're going to be delving into their work. Would you not agree? This is
Yeah,
about their
and
self. This is about
I
their
thought too
self-expression.
maybe they derive their sense of self from their work, possibly. Maybe.
That's good. What about you, Dee?
Well, they're going to do their best with what they have in front of them. I kind of look at it as, for me, it is just how much of themselves do they want to put in it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And that is kind of in contrast, actually, with what Rebecca said, which is, letting their work define them, And so that's kind of nice because that's two really different views of how that house could, how that could affect in that house. Oh, let's say, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw this out here because when I was looking at this, I wanted to say the person is a Pisces.
Oh,
Okay.
Because we kind of need that element, right? We kind of need that. So let's say this person is a Pisces. And would that change your view of the Eight of Pentacles in the first house? I don't think it would mine, but
That is definitely a D question.
well,
Come on, D.
I don't think so. I mean, you're trying to do your best. It's to bring out a good appearance of yourself. And if you look at what that first house is even going by, um, identity, your ego, yourself, and then you've got that Eight of Pentacles. And what is Eight of Pentacles?
well,
Do the
I
best
always see
with what you have.
yeah, and I always see the Eight of Pentacles as somebody who's happily doing what they do.
Yes, they like what they're doing.
Yeah. So, and again, that brings us back to, yeah, what you said about, it giving you that sense of, who you are, right? It kind of becomes.
Mhm.
So, the second house, because we're going counterclockwise now, right?
Mhm.
So the second house is the house of Taurus. This is our resources. This is our material security, our physical environment, right? If we were to dumb it down to those words. And we get the Ten of Wands, right? So how do you see this card, D?
Ten of Wands. Well, don't overdo it. Pace yourself. May have to stop and think a little bit. But for Taurus, um, their whole thing is being resourceful. Check the surroundings. They just don't dive in. You know what I mean?
Well, and then we also have physical environment for Taurus. So yeah, that could blend with that, right? We're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and Taurus, it's a bull. They tend to be rather stubborn,
Of course.
So this is someone, all right. I just thought of somebody doing it yourself, right?
Plodding, methodical.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, this is someone who isn't going to pay if finances and resources are involved and they don't want to pay for it, they'd rather do themselves, whether they do a better job or not.
Right.
Stubborn. All right. So over the course of the next 5 months, this is somebody who might be burdened by finances.
Could be
Or working really hard for the money, for
Yep.
the resources.
being resourceful. Yeah, being resourceful with what they have. Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
now, then we come up with Gemini house, the third house. We have judgment for communication and for knowledge and for like short trips, immediate surroundings. And I see this as, it's like, okay, over the next 5 months, what are we looking at? We're looking at somebody who maybe is really taking a good hard look at themselves.
yeah.
Evolving, maybe leveling up
Immediate
to the next
surroundings,
level.
Yeah. I would go
Education.
with that.
short trips. I don't know how that would fit in, but communication. And you can see the horn, right? So it's somebody, maybe trying to communicate their calling, maybe they're trying to communicate maybe they've been enlightened, right? Maybe they've been enlightened in some fashion. It doesn't have to be just spiritually. It could be they've been enlightened by something that they have that's finally come to fruition for them, and now they want to share it with the
I was
world.
gonna say, could they be trying to teach someone else
Could be.
to level? Yeah.
Anything
Give
on
them
that,
a
D?
second chance.
Second chances. So they may get a second chance to do something with themselves. They may get a second chance to communicate with somebody that they've been estranged from
Hmm.
as well.
Uh-oh, hang
What?
on to that.
Okay.
I need a clarifier. Come on, Liz.
What you got?
I didn't pull any cards. I
Oh.
didn't bring any cards with me, so I wouldn't mess this up. So
Okay.
I'm good.
You could have, D. And I know they're right behind you. I can see them. Say, because I've been in
What
your
do you
house.
want?
I
I
know
got
what's
a
there.
deck sitting behind me right now. Ah.
So Cancer, the fourth house. Okay. Home life, home family roots. So we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, okay, swords are about communication, right? They're about what we think and how we communicate what we think. And I don't think it was an accident that a communication house is right next to somebody who's having a hard time, with thought and communicating her thoughts. I call this Eight of Swords my stinking thinking card.
Yeah.
But so if this is the card of family, I mean, obviously there's going to be some type of a communication issue, I think, but between family. And maybe that's where maybe I came up with, I wasn't thinking about that when I said maybe this is, being able to communicate with somebody, or, calling out to somebody who you haven't talked to for a while. But, it's possibly that there's going to be you're going to be grappling with some issues pertaining to family, and it's going to really weigh on your mind.
Mhm.
So family and however you see this card, being limited by what you're thinking,
Hmm.
being limited by your thoughts regarding what? Regarding the house you're in, which is family, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big spread. And
Yeah.
this is not a spread. This reminds me so much of my crystals, because I have a mat for my crystals that has, all like 8 different, things in your life, areas of your life. You cast the stones and see where they land, how they group, if they're on the line influencing different, aspects. And this is not a spread for a question. This is literally a spread for what's coming, right? Okay.
Hmm.
So, this one was,
Eight of Swords.
1, 2, 3, 4. Are we only up to 4? Shit, I gotta read long fast. Sorry. 5, Leo. Creativity, self-expression, romance, and pleasure. And we get the Knight of
Knight
Swords.
of Swords.
And so for a Pisces, that tends to be rather secretive and to themselves, right? They're going to be coming out of their shell a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
self-expression seems the only most fitting one of all the Knight of Swords. I mean,
Yeah, but maybe taking a calling, maybe taking something that they've been led, they've had a calling of some kind, and it's going to propel them forward. So that
no, I'm
might,
just looking at the keywords. Like, do you the Knight of Swords with romance?
yeah,
Does that-
yeah, they don't quite go, do they? No,
No,
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a
or
minute.
do they?
Pisces, who tend to be very much to themselves and very, very private people, and are not used to putting themselves out there, right? They see somebody romantically, they want to go after. They're not the most polished suitor. You know what I mean?
But you know why? It's because with that card there, that knight, they look at it as they're looking for a sign that says, should I? Or should I be more cautious? Or what do they see? They're
He doesn't,
visionaries.
he doesn't look very cautious to me.
No, he's full steam ahead. That's what bothers them. They want to trip him up a little. Come on.
Okay, so here we go, Virgo. My God, we got
Oh.
the devil.
Oh, awesome.
So, but it's in the house of work life, right? And like I said, this is the one that reminds me, this is one that reminds me of the wands versus the pentacles, right? This is more about the pentacle. This is more about the day-to-day stuff, right? And it says that career is is primary the 10th house. So this doesn't, it doesn't even belong there as career, but for work life and for health and well-being, sometimes look at this. We got in the second house, we got somebody kind of working themselves to death here, right?
Yeah.
Overburdened this year. Is going to be kind of overburdened in the way of what? In the way of finances. And so we come over here and say, hey, in my work life, I'm going to feel pretty put upon by something or someone, right? It's not going to be the greatest work environment. And so maybe something's coming up at work that's going to, affect your finances.
So what do you ask yourself? What's the fight? Where's the power struggle? Is that what
That,
this card you think was trying to throw at you?
that
Question?
could be. Yeah, what are you feeling? What are your obligations? Why are you feeling so obligated to
Yeah.
something or someone else? Because you don't have to be. You can make it's a choice. You have chosen to feel this obligation. You've chosen to feel this responsibility. You've chosen to be around all those toxic people,
Mhm.
and it was a choice. So
It,
why are you still here?
it
And
doesn't fit because it's the Virgo work, not the Capricorn work. But the first thing that jumped into my head when I saw that card was workaholic.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, that's
It-
brilliant because it is dealing with work life.
Mhm.
or if it's affecting health, as to the Ten of Wands over there, maybe you're working yourself so sick you're going to start to have a health problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I
Love
got.
that. Love that. Okay, number 7, we've got the House of Libra. This is the relationships, love life situation, and we have the Moon. So interesting that these two cards are touching, right? To me, because that's a tarot thing, right? The cards touching, but it tells me that there could be relationship issues, or really you're at a point now. Look at this calling, right? This is calling you for something. And it just seems that you really don't know the full scope of your relationship. But you know what? Do you really care? Because you are this is in the house of Libra, but this is so Pisces of you.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's very
It's so
Pisces,
Pisces of you
hidden.
that you kind of, you kind of don't mind the mystery.
Yeah.
What else do you see? Do you anything in that? Is that weird to you? So there's something's obscured for sure in a relationship. There's some type of obscurity.
Mhm.
Something
It,
kept hidden.
yeah, and something and I don't know, but it's not like you don't know something's not going on because you've got, a calling, you've got a little bit of, mind screwing, we've got some fence sitting coming up. So in the house, the 8th, in the house of Scorpio. All right, we have transformation or major changes, right? But funny, it's also intimacy, which I just don't understand the comparison. But in the magician, right? It's like you initiate, right? What are you initiating in the next 5 months of your life, Mr. Pisces?
Yeah.
Are you initiating change? Maybe you're looking at making a change. We have the devil and the moon together. That would make me want to make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the magician would kind of imply, would it not, that you have the resources to make whatever changes you wish to
Yeah.
see?
And you can share those or not,
Mhm.
or just use them for yourself. For the okay, and then we had again life philosophy, like, well, that's that death, and well, yeah, we talked about death and rebirth, and your
Yeah.
whole philosophy on life, it might be just, putting yourself out there and just being a conduit in between you and the rest of the world. Touching the world, touching what's going on, wanting to bring something new, always wanting to bring change, because it's what you thrive on it. Some people do. Sagittarius, the ninth house. Sagittarius, sorry. Again, remember Gemini was early living. This is early learning. This is higher learning. And I kind of like that for the Queen of Pentacles because to me, she's the queen of practicality and she would be the teacher. She would be the teacher. She could be the mentor. And it's also about, philosophies and belief and expansion, right? So higher learning would be expanding your learning through somebody that can mentor you, somebody who's already been there and done that, somebody who already has that education already. So it would be learning something it would be a mentor's coming into your life. Somebody's coming in your life that's going to help you possibly with some of this new stuff that you're looking at.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, she would also probably help try to look at the keep it on the up and up, the bright stuff, the bright side.
Yeah,
because
because
the
she
good
is.
stuff, leave the rest.
I really like the Queen of Pentacles. I think when I see the Queen of Swords, I think of Judge Judy. When I see the Queen of Pentacles, I think of Martha Stewart. I mean, how smart is she? Built a, billion-dollar corporation, then went to jail, and now she just manages it from the sidelines. But, she loves those animals and she loves cooking and she loves, her home and decorating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Queen of Pentacles, man. She's cool.
I have a friend that is a Queen of Pentacles to me. She's a grandma, she runs the family, she just it holds everybody together.
Yeah, the glue.
The glue, yeah. The dinners.
In a regular tarot reading, I never thought about that, but the Queen of Pentacles could be the glue that keeps everybody together. But so could the Queen of Cups, right? They could be that glue that holds us together. House number 10, the Capricorn. Here we have our career and public image and that again, it's really strange because I would love to have seen Judgment there because that would definitely been that calling to do something. But I see that if you have a calling, if you feel you have a duty to something, you're sitting on the fence because you don't really feel it. This next 5 months, Mr. Pisces. You're back to crawling back into your hole. You're getting ready to, funny thing is in your own house, you've got people, you've got this stable group of friends for stability, right? You got this stable group of people that are pulling you out of your shell. But here, in the 10th house, you're kind of wanting to pull back in, you're on the fence whether or not you want to go back into the hole or stay out in the open.
Or you have a hell of a decision to make, maybe.
Yeah. On something, maybe on the marriage.
It's a calling, but to me, it's bringing out the question, what are you afraid of? What else do you need to see to move yourself forward?
Yeah. Because this isn't about being a victim. I mean, both of these girls right here, that was a choice, right? I mean, they decided they're putting on the blindfold because they don't want to see it. They don't want to have to address it. So, they're not victims of this. This is a choice. The 11th house, we have the Wheel of Fortune, friendship, social circle, community, our hopes, our wishes. And also, I see the Wheel of Fortune as a tarot card as a need for flexibility, a need for adaptability. Because as a major arcana, that wheel's going to take you where it wants to take you.
Well, maybe if you're saying it's adaptability, that fits really well with being able to go in different social circles. Like it talks about groups, community. Maybe he's one of those people that can go in a bunch of different groups of people.
Yeah, I agree. And then we have, of course, his own house, which is the Four of Wands. To me, and that's interesting because to me, the Four of Wands stands for stability and for, and I call it safety in numbers. Because in a lot of my cards, which are non-Rider-Waite, they're Rider-Waite influence, but they're not Rider-Waite cards. I always see a lot of people in the fours, but I also see a lot of stability. Anyway, that's one way of looking at this.
It's funny because like the wheel would have fit in the 12th house where it's karma too. That would have been a nice fit.
That would have been a great fit.
Yeah, see, we needed to put the cards where we wanted them, damn it. Anyway,
But see, I think when you say about needing to know astrology,
yeah,
like look at this 3-page, 4-page handout we have. Someone with just these keywords and knowledge combined with all the stuff tarot cards can mean. I mean, you got like a minor lifetime of work just here, like, or
well,
hours.
like I said, I do crystal readings. I have a board that's just for, it's a beautiful board if you haven't seen it. It's just for single questions, individual questions. But then the last one I like to have them toss is that life mat and say, and there is no question for that. It's what's coming over the next 3 to 6 months. You know, what areas should you be looking for? And I think that's pretty cool. So let's do one. Should
Are
we?
you gonna use your Rider-Waite this time?
No.
Okay.
Did you want me to?
No, I just thought, I didn't know if you wanted to.
No. I interviewed this deck yesterday and it wanted to do this.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good job.
So listen, are we gonna do Rebecca? D?
Yep,
Let's
we
do
can.
a quick one since we're already into an hour. Let's do a quick
Okay.
one and let's do
I might
Rebecca.
not want to reveal everything about my life, but okay, I'll play along.
You don't have to reveal
Okay.
anything
I
because
just
we're
I
gonna
just
be the
realized I'm like,
ones,
wait a minute. Yeah, you guys.
Well,
we're gonna be the ones relating to you.
Yes.
I'm just getting
And cards 1 through 6 are
Yes.
your personal ones, and 7 through 12 are your interpersonal ones. They just try to give you some structure. So
interpersonal or inner?
interpersonal.
Interpersonal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if that helps.
So listen, your first 6 cards are here. Okay.
All
And
right.
then is that right? 1,
Thank
2.
you.
No, it's not. Jesus, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Okay, there we go. Oh, I didn't mess up too bad, did I? Okay, this goes here. There's 10, 11, and 12. Okay.
All right.
Anybody care about the bottom of the deck?
Not now.
Not anymore. That is too funny. Okay. So, D, I know a lot about Rebecca. You know nothing about Rebecca. So that's going to make this kind of fun because we kind of got both sides. But when I did this last night, I was thinking about, remember we said, well, we'll get Rebecca. She'll do it. But I started I laying out a few of these myself last night. And Rebecca, I realized I didn't know you as well as I thought I did as I started laying these cards out. There's a lot about you I don't know. So that'll make it kind of interesting.
I
Okay.
think you could read the spread for yourself and find things you don't know about. Like if you want to do it as
Probably.
a psychological exercise instead of a divination one, there's probably merit to that.
I think you're right. All right.
Well,
Now I'm going to shut up and listen.
We've
Well, it's
got
all about too what's going on in the universe. All these things get drawn in you don't know about. How does Mercury retrograde affect her? How do these new planetary shapes going to move? Eclipse. I mean, you really get pushed around with all that kind of energy.
which is why I have a hard time with astrology and moonology. To me, it's just like, oy vey, I've got enough on my plate.
It's mud.
So listen, we've got, gosh, I wish I could blow this. I'm sorry, people that are viewing this. I wish I could blow it up. Anybody that knows how to blow this up I did it once, didn't I? I did it the last time, D, that we did this. I can't figure it out now.
Yeah.
So you can put it in the comments and slap my hands for it. Okay. So this is for the rest of this year, Rebecca. This is for now through December 31st.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's
so
appropriate. We're in August. Yeah.
for yourself, right? For yourself, the first house is Aries, and we have got you. I just see you to be triumphing. How do I say that? Triumphing over a lot of obstacles that you've been facing in various aspects of your life. And D, I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want. I'm going to do the first 4, and then I'm going to have you pitch in.
Well, I need to know. I can't see what
I'm sorry.
So
we have the Ace of Swords.
Okay.
And then we have the 10 of Wands again in that same position, house 2. House
Yep.
3 is the moon, and house 4 is the 8 of Swords.
Okay.
So what I'm seeing is, as a person, as yourself, as who you are, and what your self strength, what you're made up of. I see triumph over adversity with the Ace of Swords, and I think that that's real important for you because you have been fighting a lot of medical issues and other things going on in your life that you're finally starting to find answers for. And I think that that's going to perpetuate and continue through this year. That's what I
Yeah.
see on that one.
Awesome. Awesome.
Eh,
And dead on, more dead on than you know.
Yeah, well, that part I know about you. The second house is your resources, money. This is your physical environment and your resources, and I think resources have. I think your current resources right now are tight, and I think that you guys, you and your system, the people around you are working really to be diligent about how you manage your resources, and I think that that also will continue throughout the rest of this year. As far as Gemini, the third house, communication, education, short trips, immediate surroundings. I see that I see this when I see this, I think of short trips. I don't know why, but I think of the path between. I see the path, the down the moon, the path between
Yes.
the primal and the domestic, and I feel like you're seeing a lot of you're going a lot of different directions trying to take care of your resources in your life, and I see you going, maybe you've been heading a lot into Toronto and going to other places and going to other cities and stuff for whatever care that you need, and I think that's going to continue. I think you're going to you just don't know where you're going to end up on that path, and I think that, but it's good, and I think as far as communication, I see you communicating with other people. You see, like, one hound is howling at the moon and they're both trying to get the moon's attention, and sometimes it's hard to get people's attention sometimes. You kind of have to howl at them to do it. And then finally, the fourth house, you have the 8 of Swords, and this is home life and domestic, your roots, your family. um
I
i
think I
i
know what that card is.
Well, I hope so, because I know just enough about you to know that your ancestry is an issue, but your current home life is good. So I I
Yes.
don't I don't know
I,
what
th-
you're grappling with here.
I would guess that that's some toxic family of origin stuff. Like she's.
Ancestry stuff. Yeah, root stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
Dee, I did the first four. Do you want to look at this and see if you saw anything different?
No, I think you covered it really well.
Okay. All right. Well, then,
I wouldn't put any clarifiers. How's there?
okay.
Wow, that's something. See,
Yeah.
that's a
So
vote of
one, two,
confidence.
three, four. Okay. Leo is the fifth house, right? Creativity, self-expression, love,
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yes.
D, we get the Four of Cups there in an area of creativity and self-expression, along with romance and pleasure. What are you thinking there for the next 5 months? What's
Um,
that all about, do you think?
Pay attention. Listen to that inner voice that's trying to make noise in there to get your attention. Um, just listen to it. Pay attention to it. Um, cups are all about that emotional type thing, and sometimes we let that overtake what we don't see what's being handed to us. What was that thing that used to, what did it say? Don't cry over spilled milk.
Yeah.
It used to be
To
that
say.
kind of a line.
I
So
call this card my just not feeling it card. And I'll tell you, sometimes we have a lot of nice things that have been given to us, right? The hand of God reaches out of heaven to give us another gift, and yet we just don't see it or care.
It's
Um,
funny. I've only had one tarot reading in my life besides this one, like given to me. And that tarot reader said exactly what Dee just said.
yeah.
Well, more or less, to keep my eyes out for something right in front of me that I'm not seeing.
Right. And also I see this as on a positive side. If this were like, if I get this card in a career reading, I will oftentimes say, you know what? You're holding out for something that you really want. You're holding out for something that you feel is right for you, and this doesn't feel right. So it's not feeling it. But, in this card, I see this as I see you doing this a lot. I see you have all these things that you want to do and all these things that you get excited about, and you and I get involved in all these kind of crazy different directions that we take, and then bam, you get a migraine and you're done. You're sitting there and
That is,
you can't
oh,
take anymore. You
that's
have
some of it. I
yeah,
think some of it could be just if it's self-expression, like doing what I'm doing like it's stage fright almost,
Mm.
like taking the cup. It's
yeah.
like that too.
Well,
Fear. There's a
you do
fear
way
there.
better than you realize, I think. So
But
on a
I think
hap,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, D.
Well, I'm looking at it with that that Four of Cups, which mean you know how you get yourself caught up in the daily routine. You get up,
Mm.
you put your shoes on, you make your coffee, you sit in that chair. You have to basically say to yourself, "Oh no, I'm going to switch that around. I'm going to make my coffee first and then go get my shoes on." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you
I
don't get
do.
caught in that same old, and find yourself bouncing up saying, "Thank you for another day. Be grateful that you're there again. I don't care if it's pouring rain. I love rain. And so I thank that too." But those are the kinds of things to become aware of. What is being handed right in front of you that you're missing? And then you'll find more and more and be more grateful. So anyway, that's my
If
spiel.
Nope.
if this
That's
cup
fairly.
if this cup were in a spiritual realm, I would say that you've been so blessed, you know, in your life because you have all these upright cups. And here is a message. Here is a message to you, a spiritual message to you saying there's more to come
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
they're watching over. So I think that that probably is what's happening for you this year, rest of this year is I know somebody's been watching over you because I've been following your story. So neither here nor there. Now we have right 4, 5, 6. Number 6, we have the house of Virgo, work life, health, work and health. And you know,
Mm.
it's my favorite card in the deck. I love the Nine of Pentacles. This is feeling comfortable in your own skin. And you just talked about so funny because you know your stage fright will turn into you finally being comfortable in your own skin by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah.
Confidence,
Make it
stability.
so.
Yeah.
Four, yep,
Feeling,
4 of Cups to the Nine of Pentacles, right?
yeah, wow, what a nice job. Grounded, really feeling solid in it. Now, here's something else. That card, what month are we in for that card? If we read months, the last
Okay,
6 months,
so where would we start? That's a good question. Where would we start?
probably, well, we said we'll do 6 months. But
Well,
so
we're gonna
now
do
we're
5 months. We're gonna do 5 months,
5 months, yeah.
but here's the thing. I mean, do you start with her house or do you start with you always start with the first house?
First house. Start with the first house.
Well, so do we start with
August.
today? We're in August, right? August,
Yep,
September, October, November, December, January.
there.
Well, we were talking about ending in December, you know, like
I
having
know.
it be 5 months,
Well,
the whole
so you
thing.
have to do 2 cards for every month, right?
Okay.
Well,
I,
we're kind of awkwardly, if we were at July 1st, it would work perfectly, but we're August 1st. So,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it works for me because it's actually, it's a cross between, we're in between, I think, midsummer and the equinox right now. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay, let's move on. We're going to look at the seventh house. And this is relationships, cooperation. That's where cooperation might very well come in handy. But this is relationships. It's the Hermit. It's the Hermit. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, does that mean that you might be spending, you know, more time away from loved ones? You might be spending more time, you know, like in your
I've,
in your
I've
own
had
space.
such upheaval in the last little while that, I'm in a new city. I think this would more apply to friend circles. I've been hermiting a little bit too much until I get out, meet people, start over here again. Like I have a few friends in this town, but you know what I mean? When you move, it's like,
Yeah,
you,
I think this just says that that's going to continue this year, is what
yeah,
I
it
think
takes
it
a
says.
while. It takes
And
a
it
while to
happens, you
move.
know.
Yeah.
Number 8, here we are, Scorpio. We have transformation. Did this one show up there again? I mean, I know this card came up before somewhere, but
No, I think it came down lower last time.
transformation, shared resources, major changes coming. Major changes.
Page 4,
I'm
right?
sorry, but I just have a really hard time seeing sex and intimacy mixed in with transformation and major changes.
I think
And
that's the tricky part with the
life
spread. You got to pick
philosophy.
one.
Yeah, I
Card.
don't think so. I kind of think that should fall under Libra with love life to me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't yeah, this is this crazy running into it, right? What is it? It is, I'm still looking here. Number 7, this is relationships. Well, listen, it's heading headlong into
Change.
a change, yeah, of some kind, a major changes and
Like
that are going to
the Eight of
transform your
Wands.
life.
You're fearful, but you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's about
There
it.
you go.
Because I'm trying to move from the 4 of Cups to the 9 of Pentacles, so
Exactly.
full speed
And
ahead, and I got to do it in 5
It's
months.
like that. It's like that hermit card. You can be alone, but are you lonely? There's 2 different things.
I'm a
Can
person that
you
can
be
spend a
alone?
lot of time alone.
yeah,
Yes.
me too.
That's me too. So
So, so therefore, we have now determined that tarot works well for those of us who like to stay in.
exactly.
Hey, I've always said that tarot is not a team sport, but it also cannot, I don't think it can be really learned in a vacuum either. I really think that these are the kind of things we need to be doing. When I see this, to me, the Knight of Swords is running headlong into it. You might be, kind of more of a methodical person. But I think this is tackling these major changes head on. And I think you've had some good news and good things happening lately that are going to give you that energy to make you want to head fast in.
Yep.
Okay, so Sagittarius, the 9th house, we have got higher learning. And what do we have? We have the Page of Cups. Philosophy, beliefs are expanding, right? I've always seen the Page of Cups as expect the unexpected, right? So this could be, learning, and this is something new, that's going to be coming your way.
Well, they wear their card on their sleeve, so that they want to give it a try because they've got good intentions in hopes that it will come, that things will turn their way with the information that they learn.
Capricorn, 10th house. This is our career. This is what we're shooting for. And I know you're working on your YouTube and Etsy stuff. So you're getting ready to put yourself out there, Rebecca.
Brand new.
So there you go. That's
Ambition.
it right there. Putting yourself out there. That's that ace. That's that new beginning, that spark, that magic that's just, and I've seen it in other places in the reading. I mean, if I was just doing a reading on you and not, we weren't, playing with the houses, I would say, there you are. That's it. It's calling your name, right? It is calling your name.
It's a big yes from the universe.
Absolutely.
No, I
And
like
then,
that.
and then when we look at number 11, we look at friendship, social circle, community. It's another night, right? This is more action, and that's right. Maybe that's you. That's the hermit saying you better get out there and start making some friends, girl.
That's
Some
basically
local
how
friends.
it's been. And I have been. It's been nice.
I just always figured our little social circle was enough. It is for me. All right. Now we end up in the house of Pisces. And in Pisces, we have spirituality, and it can be some self-sabotaging, but mainly it's secrets and subconscious and isolation and major difficulties is that's the house. But we have in it the Queen of Practicality, so she's going to beat it, right?
Seems like that's the second time we've had a difficult to read card come up in that house.
Yeah.
Like the 4.
You think it's a stalker card? Just kidding.
Well, Yeah, I guess I just got to say that I think, and I'm going to switch back here now, but gosh, I think that it's really amazing. I don't know why I've been so interested in this and just never really wanted to sit down. 12 cards is a lot of cards. And
Hmm.
I might have to do a video comparing this to like the Celtic Cross, because that's a 10 card, sometimes 11, right? If with D it's 20. There's so many clarifiers.
Yeah, go D.
But I really think that yeah, I think this is a really great spread now for self
Uh,
discovery.
I just think you could work with it for years.
I think you work with it for
Get more.
hours on one person, on one other
Yeah.
person.
And you
And
can make it as big as you want. How deep do you want to go? Do you want to
yeah.
make
Yeah.
it for the week? You can make it for the week.
See, that's the thing. And one thing that I do want to say, and I tell my students when I'm teaching, and that is every card in a spread, I don't care if it's a 3 card spread or a 12 card spread, not every card can be a major player. It can't be, the number one card, the number one theme of, I mean, you drive yourself crazy with that, right? It just doesn't work that way. Some of these cards are just connectors,
Yeah.
which
And you
I just
saw it when
think,
you were reading how things kind of pull towards a theme that shows up in one part. And
yeah.
that's having to, I think the more we'd practice the spread, maybe you'd start to, or I would start to feel that more.
If it was just you and me and we were sitting here and I did that reading for you, Rebecca,
Mhm.
um, I would be leaning toward your business aspirations because I know that you've been working on that, like on a regular basis, on a daily basis, you're working toward that goal. But I would say that a lot of that shows up for you between now and the end of this year, and widening your social circles.
Yeah.
I think that shows, a lot of that stuff shows up, and and I think you
Well,
have,
I did today. I met Dee. So there you go.
yay,
There's one more
yay.
social circle.
There we go.
You
We
know
just
that
keep,
night, if you look at the way those cards laid out, that knight of wands that she had there,
yes.
Hmm.
I've read
That was
where
in the
that
10th.
that means networking as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's a
and
good
that was
meaning.
in
So
the 11th house, Steve.
11th house. Yes.
And that's your
So
group's
Friendship
community,
social
social circle.
circle.
yeah, that's
Oh,
the
Yeah.
social
shoot.
circle. That
We
that
need
makes
to put we need to put networking. We need to put networking on
yeah,
that. I'm going to
networking.
add
Yeah.
that to
Yeah.
that.
I'm writing
Because
it
here's
down
the
right
thing, it's
now.
like all these, folks, you can see these layouts and all this stuff on Pinterest. It's amazing how many there are on Pinterest. God, I spent like 2 days going through my ridiculous library of 10 years worth of crap I've accumulated and can't let go of. It's like walking through my documents folder is like walking through a hoarder's house. It's just got everything. I could not find this anywhere. I went to Pinterest and in 2 minutes found it, all of them. I love
Yeah.
Pinterest, but I will say this, way too much stuff. So, thank you, Gemini, for, I just threw it all in there and said, would you just summarize and condense this for me and figure out what needs to be, and because Gemini will go out through the whole universe and see everything that's out there and bring back and say, this is what, I looked at 6 different spreads, right? And when I compiled my original list, I mean, he'll go out and look at 6,000 or 10,000 spreads and then
Hmm.
bring back, hey, this is what everybody does. So it's just, AI has a way of making what we do here really, really beneficial and quick and very helpful. But again, it's just not a divination tool. And be
No.
careful with your candles when you're
And incense.
when you're doing videos. Okay. Hey, you guys, it was such a pleasure to get together with you
Yeah, it
and go
was.
over all these. And Dee, you had every window in your house replaced. Are they done?
No,
Oh my God. That's right. You have one window in your
waiting
main
for one
room.
window. This is
What?
6 weeks. This is my 6th week waiting for one window.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um,
Wow.
I don't know, you've got we're gonna work together again, and we'll all work together again. But I think that when you're ready to put your YouTube out there, we'll put you on and we'll help you and we'll do all that stuff.
Well,
But I
thank you.
really appreciate, all your help with my stuff too, because you're kind of my sounding board for some of this crazy stuff. You and Dee both are my
It's
sounding board.
enjoyable.
And the
Yeah.
one person,
Thank you for reading for me.
yeah,
Sorry.
the one
Go
person
ahead.
that keeps me honest is Kate. You know, she's my devil's advocate, but thank God, you know, God bless her for that. And she's doing great. All right, you
Oh,
Good.
guys, I have a shop that I need to go to. It's Friday. I'm going to go do some readings and I'm getting ready to introduce my egg cleansing. So this ought to be a real unique situation.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
enjoy
so we'll
it.
see.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
All right, I'll have this up by tomorrow. I'll see you guys
All
later.
right.
Hi, Rebecca. Good
Thanks.
to have met you.
Good to meet you too, Dee.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for the reading, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.